objective of this little video is to it's an announcement video. It's always good to sort of announce something if you're going to do something quite big, to let everyone know, because that also crystallizes it in your own mind. So quite a few people do know already, close family, some friends, but this is an announcement video of my intention to attempt a northbound thru-hike the Appalachian Trail in 2023. So why am I doing it? Well, a number of reasons. One, I want to raise some money for my favourite charity. The other one, why do people do anything? Why do people climb mountains? Why do people set themselves tasks? Because they want to. I much prefer walking A to B rather than a loop. I quite like multi-day walks. They're always good fun. My name's Daniel. I'm 60 years old. I live in England. I live in a small village in the east of England, which is that part of the country is agricultural, pretty flat. As you can tell, I'm walking beside a field. My closest town is a town called Cambridge. It's a university town, but I live in the village near to Cambridge. So yeah, intention to northbound thru-hike. I've done quite a lot of walking holidays. There's some beautiful places in the UK to go and walk. I won't explain the difference between UK, GB, England. I'm sure there are videos out there that can explain the difference. And we do interchange the words, and we don't really realise that they actually mean different things often. But yeah, I've done quite a bit of walking and quite a bit of multi-day walking. I really enjoy A to B walking. That's always good fun. If you found this video, you're probably aware of what the Appalachian Trail is, but for people in the UK who might not be aware and might want to know, it's a plus 2,000 mile trail on the eastern side of the US that runs all the way from a place called Springer Mountain, which is in Georgia, all the way sort of, I suppose you're going northeast most of the time, up to a place called Katahdin. I'm sure I'll learn how to say that. In northern Maine, in the sort of northeast corner of the United States. It's a long trail, 2,000 miles, it's a long way. Coming to the US, you have what I would call the visitor big three. 3 things you really have to do before you can actually attempt one of the big 3 trails. And that's to get your visa, to get your travel insurance, and to get over there. Start with the visa. The normal sort of ESTA, normal tourist visa, sort of 3-month limit. It's not going to work. Certainly at my pace it's not going to work. So you need to go and get a B2 visa. That enables you to get 6 months. There is quite a process to get it. You need quite a bit of information. But with respect to me and the sort of timings we are at the moment, COVID really closed the US Embassy in terms of issuing visas, and there was a pent-up demand once they did open, so it took quite a while to actually get an appointment. But it is, like any of these sorts of visas, it's a collation of information. When you've been to the US, can you support yourself? Are you actually planning to go home? Do you have a presence in the UK? All that sort of stuff. So collecting information was fine. Getting down to the embassy was fine. There's only one embassy in London, so for me, not too bad. I can get on the train, but if you're in the north of England, that's quite a journey. And then obviously there's a process. There are websites that tell you what it is, but there's a process for how you get the visa. I prepared quite a lot of information. Wasn't asked for much of it. Really nice gentleman behind the screen. He actually lived somewhere in the sort of Middle West, I don't know the correct terminology for the US, and the CDT goes through his state, so he actually understood what I was trying to do, no issue, and I've got my visa. So that's one of the big three. Second one of the big three is travel insurance or health insurance, a combination of the two. I'm one of those people that if I go on holiday, I get travel insurance. It's like all things in life, it's a risk. And do you want to go without insurance or go with insurance? Well, coming from a country where I can just walk into an accident emergency and not pay for anything and get medical treatment, going to the US is a little bit different. So getting travel insurance with medical cover is very important. Being 60, that slightly changed the information I had to give and the sort of cost of the insurance. What was actually quite funny in getting it, loads of, as you do with all these websites, loads of drop downs. If you want to go to Nepal, if you want to go to Kilimanjaro, if you want to go above 4,600 meters, lots of drop downs, pretty much doing the Appalachian Trail or PCT or CDT. Most of the options are other. So, but getting that insurance is very important. What I think it is, you're away for quite a while. You never know what's going to happen. You need travel insurance, you need health insurance. So that's number two of the big three. And the final one of the big three is getting there. Yeah, we're lucky nowadays to have the internet and to be able to look at loads of different routes. If I was just flying to New York, I'd actually fly via Iceland. Play Airlines, I think it is, very, very cheap. So I did quite a lot of research to try and find a reasonable price. And yes, I could have spent 40 hours or 30 hours traveling, 2 or 3 stops, saved a lot of money. But as it worked out, it was only about £100 more to fly direct to Atlanta. So that's what I'm going to do. So the big three, visit a big three. Your visa, you will need a visa. I wouldn't go to another country and stay there beyond the 3 months. You're just asking for trouble. The next one is your travel insurance. Well worth getting. I mean, the travel insurance includes, you know, things being stolen and mislaid and your baggage being lost and all that sort of stuff. And then the final one is the cost of actually getting there. So before you even start, before you even got any equipment, you do have the cost of your visa, you do have the cost of your travel insurance, you do have the cost of getting there. So that's my big three. The next sort of broad subject is kit. I have done quite a few multi-day walks and backpacking trips, so I have acquired a fair amount of kit. Not a lot of duplicates, but a fair amount of kit. Like everybody, you research, you look at videos, you listen, you think. One of the things that is slightly different for those of us in the UK, a lot of the American brand products, they are available, but they're hugely expensive with duty on top and the cost of transporting them over to the UK. So it's equally the case with some of the European brands, which are all very good. You know, if you're car camping, you can take quite a lot of stuff with you and it's all very warm and everything, but if you're actually backpacking and you need something a bit lighter, it can be a challenge sometimes. But I do have all my kit to enable me to do a long trek. I'm mindful that I might have to use a bounce box to take some equipment with me and bounce it along the trail and then use it when I, particularly sort of warm weather clothing type stuff, use it when I get to those sort of areas. But I don't have any base in the US, so everything I've got to bring with me and push along the trail or leave. So there it is. Very brief summary of who I am, where I live, and the visitor big three to actually get to the US. But I'm really looking forward to it. I know it's a big challenge. I'm hugely grateful and humbled by the support my wife and boys have given me and my family. Without them, you can't do these sorts of things. I'm fully aware I won't be there. I'll be in another country for 6 months. That does leave open pressures and tasks and everything. And that's just something we have to work through. One question I have been asked quite a lot is why the Appalachian Trail? Why a trail that big? Why? Well, we're very connected in Europe. We can go to many countries fairly cheaply in relative terms. So there's quite a lot of long walks we can do. I want to do Tour de Mont Blanc at some point. But we don't quite have the long trails that are so well supported. We do have long trails, but not supported in the same way in terms of trail towns and everything else. So that's what attracted me originally many years ago to the US. And then why the Appalachian Trail as opposed to any other trail? I think it's sort of a number of things. In terms of terrain, it's probably quite close to Europe. I mean, obviously it was connected at some point, but terrain's quite close. I think the climate's probably a little less extreme compared to West Coast paths. From everything I've read, and I've tried to stay away from looking at any videos for at least a year and a half now, the community spirit and the community along the trail is, well, everything I see, fantastic. And that'd be really good to tap into and to experience. And then, particularly the eastern side of the US, there are quite a lot of historic connections to Europe, sort of the Dutch and the French, and particularly the English, and the naming of the states and the naming of towns and villages. So that'll be quite interesting. But I think for somebody my age, actually having something that's quite well supported is quite a neat factor. Something that, played a big part in the decision. As to why am I doing it now? COVID sort of reinforced my view that you've got to get on with things. You just got to get on with it. You never know when your time's up. I did lose a fairly good friend to COVID. So you just have to get on. And so I thought, well, I'm not getting any younger. I'm doing quite a few of these multi-day walks. Why not go one step further and do one of the big US ones? So that's really why. Some of the other motivation is about raising money for cancer research. It's a charity I've supported for a long time. When I do finally put up some information, there will be a link, and then people will be able to understand why. But really looking forward to it. I realise it's a huge undertaking. I realise there's no guarantee you'll complete it, but I'll give it a go. Probably the next video you'll see will probably be a video of the trip out, the getting there video. I haven't really ever done a gear video. I'm not a particular gear nut. I do watch quite a few of them. I do make my own decision. I do think about it, but my experience has been that actually you only ever find out how good any piece of kit is when you actually get out there. You only ever find out how good a bit of rain kit is if you get out there and it's raining. So my kit is broadly lightweight. Heck, going a long way. You don't want to carry stuff you don't need to, but I wouldn't call myself ultra light. I would say I was light. So that's my introduction video. I look forward to getting out to the US and getting started. And let's see how we go.